This is a Welly die-cast Volkswagen T2 model in blue color. The Volkswagen Type 2 or T2, known officially, depending on body type, as the Transporter, Kombi or Microbus, or, informally, as the Bus US, Camper, UK, or Bulli, Germany, is a forward-control light commercial vehicle introduced in 1950 by the German automaker Volkswagen as its second car model. Following and initially deriving from Volkswagen's first model, the Type 1 Beetle, it was given the factory designation Type 2. In late 1967, the second generation of the Volkswagen Type 2 was introduced. It was built in West Germany until 1979. In Mexico, the Volkswagen Kombi and Panel were produced from 1970 to 1994. Models before 1971 are often called the T2A, or Early Bay, while models after 1972 are called the T2B, or Late Bay. This second-generation Type 2 lost its distinctive split front windshield, and was slightly larger and considerably heavier than its predecessor. Its common nicknames are Breadloaf and Bay Window, or Loaf and Bay for short. At 1.6L and 35 kilowatts DIN, the engine was also slightly larger. The battery and electrical system was upgraded to 12 volts, making it incompatible with electric accessories from the previous generation. The new model also did away with the swing axle rear suspension and transfer boxes previously used to raise ride height. Instead, half-shaft axles fitted with constant velocity joints raised ride height, without the wild changes in camber of the Beetle-based swing axle suspension. The updated bus transaxle is usually sought after by off-road racers using air-cooled Volkswagen components. The T2B was introduced by way of gradual change over 3 years. The first models featured rounded bumpers incorporating a step for use when the door was open, front doors that opened to 90 degrees from the body, no lip on the front guards, unique engine hatches, and crescent air intakes in the D-pillars. The 1971 Type 2 featured a new 1.6L engine with dual intake ports on each cylinder head, and was DIN rated at 37 kilowatts. An important change came with the introduction of front disc brakes, and new road wheels with brake ventilation holes and flatter hubcaps. Up until 1972, front indicators are set low on the nose rather than high on either side of the fresh air grille, giving rise to their being nicknamed low lights. 1972's most prominent change was a bigger engine compartment to fit the larger 1.7 to 2.0-liter engines from the Volkswagen Type 4, and a redesigned rear end which eliminated the removable rear apron and introduced the larger late tail lights. The air inlets were also enlarged to accommodate the increased cooling air needs of the larger engines. In 1971, the 1,600 cubic centimeters Type 1 engine as used in the Beetle was supplemented with the 1,700 cubic centimeters Type 4 engine, as it was originally designed for the Type 4, 411 and 412 models. European vans kept the option of upright fan Type 1 1600 engine, but the 1700 Type 4 became standard for US spec models. In the Type 2, the Type 4 engine, or pancake engine, was an option for the 1972 model year onward. This engine was standard in models destined for the US and Canada. Only with the Type 4 engine did an automatic transmission become available for the first time in the 1973 model year. Both engines were 1.7L, DIN rated at 49 kilowatts with the manual transmission and 46 kilowatts with the automatic. The Type 4 engine was enlarged to 1.8L and 50 kilowatts DIN for the 1974 model year, and again to 2.0L and 52 kilowatts DIN for the 1976 model year. The 2-liter option appeared in South African manufactured models during 1976, originally only in a comparably well-equipped executive model. The 1978 2.0L now featured hydraulic valve lifters, eliminating the need to periodically adjust the valve clearances as on earlier models. The 1975 and later US model years received Bosch Elgitronic electronic fuel injection as standard equipment. 1978 was the first year for electronic ignition, utilizing a Hall effect sensor and digital controller, eliminating maintenance requiring contact breaker points. As with all transporter engines, the focus in development was not on power but on low-end torque. The Type 4 engines were considerably more robust and durable than the Type 1 engines, particularly in transporter service. In 1972, for the 1973 model year, exterior revisions included relocated front turn indicators, squared off and set higher in the valance, above the headlights. Also, square-profiled bumpers, which became standard until the end of the T2 in 1979, were introduced in 1973. Crash safety improved with this change because of a compressible structure behind the front bumper. This meant that the T2B was capable of meeting U.S. safety standards for passenger cars of the time, though not required of vans. The VW emblem on the front valance became slightly smaller. Later model changes were primarily mechanical. By 1974, the T2 had gained its final shape. Very late in the T2's design life, during the late 1970s, the first prototypes of Type 2 vans with four-wheel drive were built and tested. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our Facebook pages.